no smoking. We've got a building spot over by the shoes. Because the crackers is on this street, I've seen you smoking by their tents and house and stuff. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't, that's something I wouldn't think about.
No.
Same with Massachusetts. Yeah. I remember the first time I was like, what?
That's what it is.
No, but nothing does surprise me.
I'm sure about it.
Yeah. Bill County was the worst. Oh, I'm sure they were out at movie nights when we were selling wrapped candy. We would accept.
I vote for you during the truth and taxation.
Seconded.
Move second, all in favor?
Aye.
And now we will open the regular board meeting of September 17th, 2014. We have already pledged the flag, but we will have roll call.
We have President Sharon Kinley, Vice President Pat Miller, Secretary Crystal Andel, Treasurer Carl Gilmore, Trustees Samantha Hurtado, Vicki Knight, and Gretchen Fritz. Staff members Julie Millibeck, Debbie Maxwell, and Lisa Pappas, as well as Michelle Peterson and Anastasia Nash here for the special recognition, and our favorite members of the public, Vicki Polito and our two gentlemen from Plainfield North. Yay.
Good. And to get off to a good start, we get to talk to Annie.
Special recognition. Anastasia Nash has been with the library for 15 years, so we are recognizing her for 15 years of service today. And Michelle Peterson, her supervisor, has a few words about that.
We made a deal. Julie's going to take the picture, I'm going to talk. That's what we're going to do. And I wrote it down just because I don't want me to go on all night. Annie is a fun, integral part of our circulation team. Over the last 15 years, Annie has seen many changes in the circulation department and has handled them all with grace. She always shares her wonderful ideas for making our department more efficient. Annie's attention to detail helps keep our entire department organized, thank goodness. In addition to her regular circulation duties, Annie writes our reviews for our movie blog and created the very successful and a lot of fun Bubble Wrap Day decorations back in January. It was a great stress reliever. She had the popping bubble wrap and the kids loved it. And no one that works here at the Plainfield Library can see the color purple and not think of Annie because it is her all-time favorite color. So, Annie, congratulations. It's great to have you.
I'm not in the picture. We're not the purple today, please note the wall.
I know.
And I have known Annie since she was a little girl walking down the halls of Central Elementary School, so it's really a pleasure for us to honor you this way. You are quite a compliment to our attorney.
Can you guys stand a little closer?
Well, now, where's Michelle?
It was a deal we made.
Michelle has decided that she does not want to be in the picture.
You don't get away
I
with it.
will crop later. We have chairs. Do one more spot. Thank you.
Thank you.
She picked the chairs first.
You're all signed in?
She's the reason. But you can. I think we have some additions to our group. And so, are you all from Plainfield North?
Yes.
And would you please stand and tell us your names?
I'm AJ. I'm Austin.
And you have last names?
Oh, Matt Lewinsky.
Okay.
AJ Oriana.
I'm Cindy Bosch.
Welcome. And this is our regular board meeting. You can have a seat. A regular board meeting. And we just finished a taxation hearing. And they got to
sit in on that.
Sit down on that and give an explanation. So we do welcome them. Public comment? Yes.
Just want to say that I was promoting at Coffee with the Mayor because I had signed up for it and used it for the first time. Mr. Gilmore saw me there.
Yeah.
And who is that nice lady who comes, the lady with the sandy-colored curly hair, the petite lady who comes from the library?
Anita Quinlan.
She was there as well. But I love this shout bomb thing. I did not think I would warm to this tool. My husband was signing up for a card the one time when we were here, and it was near closing, and the gal circulation was very nice, but not pushy, and described it to him, and because he never pays attention to anything anyone puts in front of him, I, of course, read it, and I went, all right, I'll try this. So I was the 134th person of your, I know you're keeping a tally at the time that I signed up, and I thought, yeah, fine, blah, 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 but this is very handy, and I keep thinking for my friends, especially who have tweens and teenagers who sometimes lose track of their library materials and fees accrue, and it's an issue, this is a great tool for those kids, because they're all texting all the time. They're going to avoid some of that heartache and aggravation, and I just love it. I think it's a great service that you guys signed up for. It's a great tool.
Well, thank you.
And just FYI, Shout Bomb is our text notification service, and you can get notices on all sorts of things from the library, so try it out. Sign up today.
And
It was a very lively coffee
Yeah.
on Wednesday. Lots of discussion of road salt.
Oh, and FYI, for those who didn't know, I actually had a note back and forth. Tom Hernandez is feeling much better now.
Is he? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
we were told by the superintendent at that coffee that Tom was unfortunately away because they found a blood clot in his leg. And so he was handling that, getting it taken care of, and I exchanged a little note with him to say that we were hoping he was okay, and he says he's doing good, so he's all right then.
I think we've kind of covered what Vicky's been doing for community.
Hours and hours.
Hours and hours, yes, and implementing for that.
And thanks Anita and Sam for doing a big help, getting stuff on the front site and getting stuff, working out with the library, and that's what we're supposed to be doing, and pass all of our information in to make sure it's properly worded. We sent out letters to the crafters, we have 65, so they all know all the rules and very well, and hopefully we have 2 spots, one coming that way and one coming this way, because of the parking is set up, so hopefully that goes smoothly.
It'll be the first time in the new parking
Oh,
lot
it can only
with
be
this
better.
event, so.
Anyone else have anything to add?
And just remember, we have some, a busy couple of weeks coming up. The Friends Arts and Crafts Fair this weekend. The following weekend is the Chamber of Commerce Harvest 5K Run and Walk with the Meyer Kids Miler for the, it's a 1 mile race at 8 a.m. for the younger set. And then on October 4th, Saturday, we have the homecoming parade in the morning, and then Star Wars Reads Day here in the afternoon from 1 to 4. We're going to be doing a few different kinds of things on for Star Wars Reads Day, including there will be a tent outside on the lawn by the house that will be our own Jedi Training Academy. So should be lots and lots of fun. And the group that's walking in the homecoming parade will be passing out a special bookmark that will be your ticket for a drawing only for those who attended the homecoming parade. So if you bring that in, yes.
At the parade.
We usually do, yeah.
Yeah, as long as we don't have happen what happened at the St. Patrick's Day parade where 20 people said they were coming and 1 person arrived.
That was
Weather
a friendly
pretty
scene.
good, right?
It was not a friendly St. Patrick's Day. Hopefully we'll get much better weather for the homecoming
Hopefully the train
parade.
doesn't come through like last year or something. We were stuck on the opposite side waiting.
You've got to know
Yeah.
where to stand.
Move those numbers up so we're
Yeah,
closer.
yeah. Anyone else have anything to
Well, that's
contribute?
one of the things Lance too, because he's been a big help in the parking lot for the craft show, helping us with how many feet are 25?
Some of those, give me a long enough tape measure. Yeah.
I attended the pig roast sponsored by the fire department for many people in the community, and had an opportunity not only to meet some new people, share some food and conversation with public, including Vicki Polito, and got a chance to talk with other people about our library and some of our needs, etc. I thought it was a good way for us to be there at that event.
That was on my agenda, didn't happen, so
Didn't
I'm glad
happen.
you were there.
I went, but I didn't
I think I saw you there briefly.
say. Yeah, I saw it.
One thing that I'd like to comment on is that the Illinois Library Report is a huge undertaking that you and the staff, as I was reading through it, and we have to thank all the people who are responsible for keeping all that data all through the year, because it really is a huge undertaking to get it all and to get it all right, because that's probably an important part of things. So we appreciate you and appreciate the staff that contributes to that. And I think every week when we read in our packet all of those different statistics, we know that those are being compiled for lots of reasons, but
Yes.
that's one of the reasons. So thank you for that. So, okay, anything else?
Oh, no, never mind, sorry.
Sorry. We do need to approve the consent agenda, or we don't need to approve the consent agenda anymore. We just need to state that we have one, right? That, didn't we change that? Yes. Okay, so, August 20th, 2014, budget and appropriation hearing minutes, and August 20th, 2014 regular board meeting minutes. And then the approval of the bills paid and bills payable, we do need to do that. So, that's in the amount of $318,295.46. Any questions or?
Motion to approve the bills, paying the bills payable, the amount of $318,295.46.
Second to that motion?
Second.
And that's a roll call.
Carl?
Yes.
Crystal? Samantha?
Yes.
Vicki?
Yes.
Gretchen?
Yes.
Pat?
Yes.
Sharon?
That motion carries. And committee reports, I don't know if Carl or Pat or if you wanted to comment on your recent workshop that you went to.
Oh.
Or is it
We're
down
going to
there?
do that other director's report?
You want it down there?
The strategic
Okay.
planning
Yeah.
The
timeline.
timeline's
is-
down there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, you just
okay.
want to
And
include
that's
in
what
there?
it's-
Okay,
yeah.
all right, that's what I was.
Referring to all those handouts and that,
Yes.
so.
And then there were Vicki and I. Is there someone else here? And Pat was at the petition workshop.
Yes.
Workshop, and that was very informative.
And that's next week, isn't it?
That's next week, yes.
It truly was worth going to realize how overwhelming it can be.
But it was truly overwhelming that power can be held by the people who do oversee this.
Indeed, indeed.
There's some guidelines, but they're kind of loosey-goosey. So, anyway.
Open to interpretation, as it were.
Yes. Yes, that's for sure. But it really was well done,
Yes, it was.
and we
Thank
appreciate
you,
the
Vicki,
library.
for setting that up.
Yeah, Vicki was, thank you, Vicki.
Vicki.
I'm sorry?
For the petition signing workshop.
I'm sorry, I get lazy because I can watch it later. It's kind of someone else sometimes when I'm counting. No problem. It was a pretty good success. We had like 24 people, so we were making bets on who would come, and it worked out pretty well.
Good
Thank you.
discussion. Good
Yeah.
I think it reinforces too, though, the neutral position of the library no matter what.
Mhm. And I was impressed with the leaders of that group in being very neutral. That was
Yes.
very,
Yes, indeed.
made you feel really comfortable in the situation. Okay, any other committee reports? I don't recall if there were any. Okay.
I think I'm going to say it again, though, as Building and Grounds Committee Chair, that I really like the way the external view of the building is as you walk around it, et cetera, in comparison to what we had before. So I'm pleased that it has turned out as well as it has.
We worked from the top down, so that's And Julie, you're on. Library Director's Report.
Not much. Yeah, not much going on. Some of the most interesting things that happened this month revolved around the proposed administrative rules changes for multi-type library system membership requirements. These are the administrative rules that lay out what the actual expectations are interpreting the statutes. They have not been changed or updated for the multi-type library systems in the state of Illinois since the 1980s. The Illinois State Library Advisory Committee took this on recently. They went through a very expedited process with the Illinois State Library staff primarily preparing the drafts of updated rules for those membership requirements. And there are some very big differences within the membership requirements for multi-type library systems. These are the kinds of things that will be expected of you as a local library to meet in order to be a member in good standing of the regional library system. And that's important because the only way you get any grants from the state of Illinois is through the state library, and to get any of those, you have to be a member in good standing of your regional library system. So, some of the things that they've included that are fairly significant changes, one is a requirement that the local library board regularly assess service to the unserved of any areas adjacent to your district. The unserved, there are, in the state of Illinois, approximately 20% of the land in the state and approximately 1 million residents have no library district, have no library service at all. It's just the way the law was written. It's not like community colleges or school districts where every piece of land in the state is covered. It's been a perennial problem. There are places that have voted down inclusion in library districts repeatedly, including our very own Neosay Township, directly to the west of our library district, and also directly to the south of the Oswego Library District, who have, over the last 2 decades, tried no less than 4 times to include Neosay Township in their service area and had it voted down.
That's probably why they call it that.
Yes.
Is that Native American for just say no?
Yes. Yes, I believe it is.
I've been in a meeting when they've said that. That's what they will say.
Sounds like.
So, but the problems come within these administrative rules is that they have not done in expediting the process, they have not done a very good job of defining their terms and defining the expectations. What is a regular assessment, and how frequent is regular? How in-depth does that assessment need to be? And there are
assessments been broad.
exactly. So
Just underserved.
So those are the questions. A number of us from this area went down to the State Libraries Advisory Council meeting and provided our testimony about the rules and our concerns with them. There were also rules that included participation in your local library system automation program, which basically means the shared catalog that's run by the regional library system. Well, we recently decided that that consortium did not meet our needs and made our own. Now they're putting in a piece about about participation in that as part of these system standards. They did back off on that and made it shared catalog. However, they did not define shared catalog. So, they also put in a definition of the local library system automation programs that if they move forward with that definition, basically our Pinnacle catalog qualifies because we receive support from the regional library system in the form of delivery. And that is the only, it's a shared catalog that receives support from the library system. So if they move forward with that definition, we arguably are one. So really we would like to see the state library spend some more time. It's been since the 1980s. Why are we in a rush?
Well, and are the people who are setting up these regulations people that are aware and have been involved in the local library and know what's going on?
They were primarily the state library staff. So, at the moment, they did decide to move forward with the rules. However, at this point, that draft goes into the Illinois Register, it's published, and it goes before JCAR, the Joint Committee on Administrative Rules, and there is a very strict formal process for the draft from that point forward. And there can be significant revisions throughout this process, but every single comment that is made once those are published must have a full and formal response from the state library. And when JCAR reviews those rules for approval or not, they will look, that is part of the record and what they look at as they're looking at the draft and any changes that have been made and the reasoning behind it. So to that end, the Reaching Across Illinois Library System Board is forming a committee for membership requirements and standards that will be following this process very closely. And I somehow have a feeling that I'm going to get appointed to this.
We're all shocked. Oh, wait, no, we're not.
It just happens. Beyond that, I think everything else has been in my previous reports. Tomorrow is the potluck afternoon, the luncheon and such for Arlene Butcher, our accounting clerk's retirement and 80th birthday. Arlene that will be her last day with us. We're really looking forward to hearing all about the latest great-grandbaby who will be making an appearance in early October. Between tomorrow and October 1st, when she leaves for the East Coast, she has agreed to be on call for Josie Zudak, who is our new accounting clerk. So stop by.
Large shoes.
Large shoes to fill. She has kept us super organized on the financial front, doing all the payables for years and years now.
And her work ethic is just can't imagine.
Yes, and she makes sure that all of the paperwork is correct. You better have that receipt.
If we attend, do we need to bring something?
Oh, no, I think we're gonna have to. This is the library staff.
Here we are.
Plenty of food.
Any other remarks or any questions of Julie about any of the things that you read through?
I presume I'll never know what -3 or -1 means because I don't need to on the form that was completed.
Oh, the -1, it basically is an NA. Yeah.
And I thought,
Yeah, and
yes, all these minus
and
numbers.
those when it creates the PDF, it autofills those. You can't change them. So I can't make it anything that makes sense to anyone.
That keeps us all up.
Yes.
But it's a huge job. Okay, we have Thank you, Julie. We have action items, unfinished business, electronic monument sign proposals, and just so that you know that the one from Grape is the one that was handed out this evening, and it matches the original.
Yes, the August 14th proposal is the correct proposal for grade signs. The differences between the proposals, the Carbon Klaus first proposal is meets the requirements of the specs as put out. It's a little bit narrower. It's 2 inches shorter and 4 inches narrower than the one that Great Signs has.
Plus the cost is a lot.
And the difference in the proposals is also the manufacturer of the light box for each one. In the 20 millimeter, that's the size of the LEDs that are used. So within the Great Signs proposal, they are doing that's the 20 millimeter Think sign. That's the vendor that actually makes the light box. Carbon Klaus has the 20 millimeter that is by Optech Infinity. And then the second Carbon Klaus proposal is Watchfire, and that is actually a 19 millimeter LED. And those are, if you look at the page 54, Watchfire is the one that has the greatest clarity of any. Basically, they're the ones with the really sharp looking LED signs. I'm not sure we need the...
Yeah, you can see the matrix number is different in the greater matrix.
Mm-hmm. But we're also not using, this isn't going to be
Far
15
away.
feet in the air.
Well, right.
That might not pass the villages.
No, I think something like what is pictured here would never pass the villages. Their sign ordinance. Between the base proposal from Carbon Klaus and Great Signs, I will just comment that Carbon Klaus is more specific within their proposal than Great Signs was. But beyond that, both have
But Great
responded.
Signs
and
meets our requirements.
Meets
Now,
the
some of them
requirements.
indicate that the electrical wiring, et cetera, we need to provide.
Mhm.
And I wondered whether we were going to have to contract with someone independently to do so.
That depends on exactly how the village left it.
Okay.
So
Mine
it's
seems to be
currently
mine.
under
So it's coming
investigation.
into, oh, right.
It was,
Very good.
the village indicated that they were stubbing off the electric for us. There is a pipe there where it is stubbed. Supposedly there is electric in it. We have not seen it yet. And the pipe is not where the sign would be. So in either case, we at least have to run it a little bit. So there will be an electrical cost in addition. But that will come in well under our threshold. It will be a separate contract, and we will have, Lance is fully capable of taking care of that with the electrical contract.
The warranties similar between Great and, I wasn't quite sure about Great. I saw the
I don't
warranties,
see any warranty on it.
and that's why I wondered whether they were offering a warranty.
Well, the Carbon Klaus had the 2 years, 5 years, 5 years,
Mhm.
and a 2 year, 5 plus 5.
Yes.